Hello and welcome to Yoga for Recovery. We're doing some twists today. So we're going to start in easy pose. And as always, if you want to sit on a block, you can. The idea of easy pose is to kind of get us into the movement of the yoga practice. So the idea for us is to practice our breathing and to inhale in through your nose, into your belly, and then relax. And then relax. Start your practice 5, 10 breaths, whatever feels normal. The idea is to start to calm yourself down, your nervous system. And start to focus on your breath because that's what we're going to use for all the movement. So we'll start with a simple seated twist. Left hand on your right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale and basically bring your collarbones up, and exhale and rotate your shoulders. Or you're not trying to like crank and really twist hard, you're just turning. And that's kind of the key in all this recovery yoga, is to be just, we're not trying to create a workout. We are not trying to force anything. We are simply trying to move better. Not even better, more than we did before, so that we create a little bit of extra blood flow, extra nervous system movement, sort of is how it works. And roughly 5 to 7 breaths on each side, right hand on the left knee, left hand behind you. 5 to 7 breaths is typically how long to do this. However, there are some poses like lunges or pigeons where I'm really getting into my hips and places that are notoriously tight in runners and cyclists, and I will often spend more time there. There's a limit at how much you can twist. You can always try to work at opening up and creating some more range of motion in your joints. Neck is tight too. All right. So today what we're going to work on is a butterfly pose, and then the opposite of butterfly. So a butterfly opens up your inner hips and sometimes into your psoas. We're going to do that. So the muscles inside of your hips are the ones that tend to get tight because they're scrunched over while we run and ride. So I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, these are stretches that we did. And we would grab onto our feet and we would pull as hard as we could our head down to our toes. And that's really not a good idea, nor was it effective. So what we are going to do is inhale, lengthen our torso again, but reach forward. So we're not even pulling at all. We're resisting all temptation to pull. And eventually we're going to bring our hands down to the floor. But right now we are just leaning forward on the exhale. So we're going to inhale and fill our belly. And exhale, lean forward. And what you'll feel is that whether it's your inner thighs, your inside of your hips, your lower back, it'll start to loosen. And then when you're inhaling and coming back, it tends to relax your knees and they come a little bit farther down. And I'm just going to bring my hands down, but I'm not going to pull, just because I don't want to hold them upright. And again, 5 to 10 breaths. This is kind of the main movement today. This and then the opposite of it, where we work the outside of your hips. And you may get to a point where you can bring in your feet a little bit more. And that's going to give you a different group of stretching. And you're just letting nature do its work. You're just letting your body do the work. That sounds kind of corny, but you're just trying to relax. You're really letting gravity do the work because you're trying to let gravity pull your knees down a little bit more each time. So the inhale is usually shorter than the exhale because you're just pulling air into your belly. And then you are just letting it out. You're not trying to exhale. You're just letting the air out as it comes out. We'll do one more breath. All right. Now we're going to do the opposite. But what we'll do before that is a reclining butterfly. And we're not going to do much of that simply because we are working on, oh, I'm sorry, somebody's calling me in the middle of this. So we'll do a reclining butterfly, which is going to get at some different muscles in our hips. All right, so we're in the same position, head back, and this is much more of a butterfly action because you're actually going to inhale, bring your knees up, and exhale, and you are just working on letting them relax. All right, go. We're just going to do that for a couple more seconds because this is a little uncomfortable because it's getting at in your psoas and some of the muscles in your inner hips, which is good to open, but there's not a lot of movement that's going to happen. All right, let's bring your knees up and walk your feet out to the sides of the mat so that your knees are apart and your feet are apart. And what we're going to do is windshield wipers. And so whereas the butterfly's got the inside of our legs and the inside of our hips, the windshield wipers will get the outside of our hips and the outside of our legs. And that is the key. So how you do this, inhale. We're going to drop our knees over to the left, but my right knee is going to come a little bit farther towards my left ankle. And then we'll inhale back up, and we'll drop our knees over to the right, but this time the left knee comes towards the right ankle. Both of my arms are down, my shoulders stay on the mat. Inhale up, exhale, and just let the air out again through your nose. And you'll feel this maybe in a variety of places, in your hips and your glute, the side of your glutes. You can always move your feet too to get at different places. This just is a little bit of a building up more mobility and movement in your hip joint. And again, the exhale is going to be longer than the inhale. All right, now we're going to finish this. Since we started with a spine twist, we're also going to finish with a spine twist. So bring your knees together this time. Inhale, bring your left leg over your right legs as if you were crossing your legs. And what we're going to do is work on a spine twist that's also going to get at our glute. Hands are in the same spot at that 45-degree angle. And we'll inhale, and now we're going to drop our knees over to the left. And this is going to work on our right hip. And if you choose, if you can look over to your right. Your shoulders are staying on the mat. Inhale up. And I'm just going to adjust my feet a little bit and exhale, let it down. So you've got this weight of your left leg on your right leg. And so it is just weighing your leg down enough to be able to create a little bit of extra mobility in your hip. Do that one more time. Good. And let's come back. This time, bring your right leg up and cross over onto your left knee. And inhale and drop your knees over to the right this time. And you're going to feel this. I end up feeling this in my left hip flexors, but also in the side of my glutes, minimus and medius, into my lower back. Again, you're keeping your shoulders on the mat. Inhale up, and you don't need to come all the way up on the inhale. It's just enough to create a little bit of immediate relaxation in the target muscles. It's like, yeah, we're gonna leave now. Yeah, what? Oh wait, I'm sorry. It's like a Columbo moment. For those of you old enough to know Columbo, he would always say, well, there's just one more thing. And that's kind of what we're doing with the muscles, is tricking them in a nice way to do a little more than they think they can do. Like right now, my hip is just suddenly opening. It's just coming down and opening. It's kind of cool to feel when the opening just happens. And that's as far as it's going to go. And that's just fine. All right, I'm going to roll up into a seated position. All right, thanks for joining us. Yoga for Recovery is part of the Yoga Strength class. I appreciate your presence. If you have more questions about yoga, strength training, or coaching with Simple Endurance Coaching, sign up for a virtual coffee down below and let's talk. Thanks for joining us. Take care.